Well, happy Friday, folks. I say that rather hesitantly because it is raining. It is raining a lot. In fact, we're supposed to get rain pretty much this entire day. Which, don't get me wrong, we need rain. No, I like the rain. But, I was told we'd be getting rain, we're supposed to get 3 to 6 inches of rain. Not just some, little, 3 to 6 inches can be a lot. I checked the weather app yesterday, pretty much all throughout the entire day. It's not like the rain is going to be bad, per se. It's a 35% chance of rain all throughout the course of the day. I bet if I were to check the app now, it'd be 100%. Well, if the weather, chances are the weather here is just like it is at Cuca Lake, which I will be going to later today. If that's the case, there's actually a few chores I won't need to do. Obviously, water the flowers will be one, because, it won't rain. And, I'm sure I'll consider blowing off the front and back patio. But if it's really bad, I'm not going to. Definitely got a vacuum, though. So, let's get to my low and high active kindness. Speaking of which, I don't know. I guess overall I'm just feeling a little bit bummed. This week was actually going by pretty well until Wednesday morning when, I woke up and saw that thing that, made me feel as bad as I did. And now I can't really get it out of my head. Again, I'm sure there's a logical explanation why the thing I saw was what wound up happening. That doesn't involve me thinking I did something wrong. Because to my knowledge, I don't think I did anything wrong. Seriously, no one's told me if I've done anything wrong or not. I can't admit I did something wrong when I don't know what it is. This is, if someone were to walk up to me regarding this thing and said, Nick, you did something wrong, okay, I take responsibility for it, but I actually need to be told these things. Communication. So, I've just been freaking out lately. Hopefully going to the lake today and being up there this weekend should clear my head a little. In fact, I absolutely needed to. I'm the kind of guy that already has low self-esteem issues. And on top of that, I'm a guy who's been left out of a lot of things. So, I'm going to be thinking about this a lot. So that's just where my head is at right now. My high was, yesterday's episode of Hot Ones. This is actually something I didn't mention on a Tuesday, is that my actual introduction to Ariana Grande has nothing to do with her music. I watched Victorious when I was younger, and Ariana Grande played Kat, the well-meaning, very dim-witted, friend of Victoria Justice's character, Tori Vega. So, Salmon Cat, which was essentially like Victoria, which is that one again. Point is, I had known Ariana Grande from Victorious, And there were times when on the show she was singing. But, I mean, you can make the case that Ariana Grande is one of the best singers on the planet right now, and she absolutely deserves every accolade. But if you, like, watch any clips of Victorious of her singing, you're like, okay, now I see how she was able to go far. And my act of kindness was I emptied the dehumidifier for my dad, emptied and filled the dishwasher for my folks, and I did a few errands yesterday for my family shop. So I say errands, it was just banking, but there was something. Unfortunately, days like today are going to be really slow. I just know for a fact they are. Because who wants to go out and do stuff in the rain? I mean, listen, if people go out shopping in this weather, it's not going to be for, fixing your home or anything. It's going to be more for getting supplies. Even though it's going to be nice tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised at all if, when I'm at the lake for tomorrow's video, the sky behind me is going to be gorgeous. Probably not a cloud in the sky. Although, if the weather does persist today, it is going to provide my favorite setting up at Cuba Lake. I mean, I've mentioned this before. I love being up at Cuba Lake, and it's great when it's sunny. It's just as nice, if not nicer, if it's cloudy and rainy and just because it evokes peacefulness, and I love that. Ooh, I wonder if there'll be like rain-induced fog. That'd be cool. Oh man, now I really want to go to the lake. But let's focus on the Hot Ones episode, because this one's just any Hot Ones episode. This is Ariana Grande's episode, and yes, this was the season 24 finale, as far as I know. I mean, I'm sure there'll probably be like one surprise episode that no one is gonna notice, or I'm sure that maybe there is one more guest, we just don't know it yet. But it's a pretty safe call to make that Ariana Grande was the season 25 finale. And if that's not that the good folks over at First Week Feast need to hear it from me, but thank you for a wonderful 25th season. It was very good. But before we get into that, let's talk about what they talked about. Obviously, with Ariana Grande, she was promoting Wicked, just like I predicted. Ain't it right? But also, she has a new album coming out. And Sean Evans mentioned that his favorite song on the new album is Break Free. And they talked about how to make a sad song from a technical perspective, because Break Free is supposed to be a sad song. Like, she heard the beat and, like, the emotional intention behind it, like, led the way into writing the song. Like, she heard the beat and she already felt like, oh. And then she worked from there. I mean, listen, I wouldn't know a thing about songwriting by any stretch of the imagination. I certainly wouldn't know a darn thing about making songs sad. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've heard a lot of good songs that are sad. Some have even made me cry. But if I was ever a songwriter, I would not be writing sad songs. I would actually try and write songs that uplift people instead of making them feel sad. They talked about what a few certain instruments are, like a tenorian or a looping machine. And they also talked about, because Ariana Grande's done her research. She's like, where am I going to be on the scale between DJ Khaled and Lorde? And Sean's like, whoa. Seriously, 25 seasons of Hot Ones, and I don't think anyone's ever asked the question, where do I fall on, the spectrum of, every Hot Ones guest that's ever been on the show? love Sean's answer for this because at the end of the day, it just falls wherever it falls to. Although, Ariana Grande, on the very slim chance you're watching this, may I say, you did very, very, very well. Most definitely a worthy season 25 finale if I ever saw one. So, take that what you will. Let's see. They talked about, because obviously she's promoting Wicked. What was the most unique or situation she was in performing live? Because actually, I didn't know this was happening, but every song you're going to be hearing when watching the movie Wicked is an actual live performance that was recorded, which is shocking because that means, movie musicals being shot live is nothing new. I do believe Les Mis did it back in 2012. So it's not anything new. But, that movie had legitimately good actors who may or may not have been able to sing. Or people wouldn't know if they sang or not. Here, you definitely have legitimately good singers in Wicked. Ariana Grande among them. And, her most unique situation for her was, being able to sing in, apparently, a bubble or something. But in her eyes, the most unique experience was watching Cynthia, the woman who plays Miss Alphaba, sing Defying Gravity, which is actually something I'll get into in a minute. They talked about when David Byrne said, the better a singer's voice, the harder it is to believe what they say, or what they are saying. If, she doesn't, she sees she sees where he's coming from, but she doesn't agree with that. A singer's voice and what they say don't negate one or the other. Don't negate the other. So, okay, that makes sense. They talked about working with Max Martin and how, because Max Martin was the guy who told NSYNC many years ago, and It's Gonna Be Me. They have him say, it's gonna be me, that saying. And they talked about how, in making Break Free, they had to make her voice sound pingy or something like that in that one particular note. They talked about the impact that leaked music has. Specifically, she thinks that it sucks and the fact it's very conflicting. Because on the one hand, yeah, people finding out what you're doing before it comes out, I'd be annoyed too. But on the other hand, how lucky, let's say I was a famous musician or a celebrity and my work got leaked out before everyone was supposed to know. Yeah, I would think it sucks too. But on the other hand, how lucky am I that people are talking about me, good or bad, in this magnitude? That's actually one reason why, if I ever did get famous doing this or whatever, I would try and keep myself grounded. Because there are people in my life, particularly people I've gotten to know in the last year, that, I would stay grounded for them. Again, if you forget who you are, where you come from, you wind up being an asshole. And I'm not going to do that. Not for them. Not to them. She talked about songs she kind of wants to retire from doing live shows. And there's a few songs she has thought of, but when she actually does sing those songs, there are people in the audience that really get excited. So, that's cool. It's like when I saw Claudia Hoiser back in June at Laurentide Beer Company. I was really looking forward to her singing Call It Out, but she didn't do that song. So, although if she ever did do that song, I'd be very excited. And then we get to the bomb beyond insanity. Folks, never in the history of Hot Ones has anyone ever showed empathy for any of the hot sauces, much less the bomb. Ariana Grande showed empathy for the bomb. And she also introduced the idea of having coffee as a means to quell the heat. So that's really cool. Then Sean asked her, is there like a Venn diagram of veganism and Sicilian cooking? If so, like, what's the perfect dish? And the answer is no, there's not. I mean, listen, for those of you who do live a vegan lifestyle, God bless you. You're making much better health decisions than I ever will. I can never do it myself because meat is delicious. I actually had no idea Ariana Grande was vegan, so it's kind of cool. They talked about boomers and Boca Raton being incredibly underrated. And finally, for the last dab, Sean asked her if there's a go-to vocal warm-up, and could she teach it to him? I mean, and with all the hot sauce, seriously, Ariana Grande killed this episode. I know I make it sound like, each guest does a good job, and no, Ariana Grande legitimately killed this. And that means she did very, very well, by the way. I'll tell you what, if her performance in Wicked come, November is even half as good as how she handled the wings, a part of me will not be surprised if, A, she wins a whole lot of awards for what she's doing, but B, obviously I've seen her act in Notorious before, but Ariana Grande's future looks really bright. I can never think of anything that could go wrong in her career at the moment. I mean, I should never say that because, something could always happen. And I want to talk about something I should have mentioned in regards to earlier when I mentioned the whole Defying Gravity thing. I said on Tuesday that that a lot of people could make the case that Wicked is the greatest Broadway show of all time. In terms of impact, how long it's been on Broadway, the music, popularity, pop culture. And again, you have songs like Popular, Defying Gravity, The Wizard and I. I could keep going. To give you a perspective just how much of an impact the music, especially on society, has had. And I'll never forget this. This was back in 2014. I was in the Corning Theater production of Hairspray. And these young kids, they're in their teens, but they were still cool. They were talking about how when applying for, music college, obviously you need to, and for really, whether you sing or play an instrument, you need an audition. It got to the point where so many people were singing Defying Gravity that if anyone were to do that or any song from Wicked, you were never getting in. Seriously, that's how crazy it was. You really could say Defying Gravity of my teen years was the Let It Go of my adult years. Funny enough, both songs were made famous by Idina Menzel. Oh, she'd make for a great Hot Ones guest. Well, you know what? There is going to be I know for a fact there's going to be a Frozen 3. And I think Kristen Bell has been on Hot Ones. I can't. Yeah, she has been on Hot Ones. But what if she came back with Idina Menzel? Oh, that'd be so cool. Okay, but yeah. I should probably get going before it gets too crazy in here. I hope you all like this video. Like this on YouTube channel, on social media. As always, if you're home this video, for all you guys watching over there, okay, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Friday. And remember, if you guys want to talk during this video, take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.